or raise your hand if you have any questions. Or if you can't even hear me clearly from the back, raise your hand, just let me know anytime in our class. So there's no restrictions here. So we just finished that here. So we talk about different types of organizations and different ways of leveraging digital technology can result in different challenges of either implementing or digital technology or transforming to a new business model or finding the right digital strategy. So these are all the issues, problems, topics, challenges we're going to unpack in our next terms. So don't worry about that. So we talk about organizations, the different types of organizations. But today, especially in the recent years, the most important development is in the technology itself. So what happened to the technology? And what happened is a relationship between the human beings, between the organizations and technologies. So that's another important aspect we need to cover, and also that's where another important sources of where the challenges comes from. First, a simple concept is what we call agency. Agentic or agency. So what is agency? Usually when we say something or someone has a control of itself in daily life, that's a more general way of defining agency. So you will see this person or this object as agency. It can act on itself and can also control its own behavior. So a main opinion for agency of technology, so it's not just human beings, we have the agency, we can decide for ourselves. The recent development is that technology has increasingly gained the so-called agency by itself. So usually we say, a main opinion is that human beings have control over technology in most organizational applications and scenarios, since it alone possesses a temporary invalid capacity to act to its intent. So that's beauty. You can decide for yourself and you can act for yourself. So this is agency, and also we can also say the human beings are agentic. However, information technology or digital technology in a variety of organizational settings, now they're starting to show the agentic properties have been rapidly advancing the capacity to pass through large amounts of data, acquire new skills and new skills and knowledge, and also operate autonomously. So this is what Arnold has just talked about in her section. The acquisition, the leverage of big data, as well as feeding into neural network to enable the capacity for the machine to make decisions and also act by itself. So for this technology, or more specifically for the digital systems, they may be able to develop protocols, that means determine the rules and guidelines for what to do, as well as select actions, make choices on what to do by themselves. So this is these developments, most recent developments in digital technology, and also a major sources of capabilities, digital capabilities, as how human beings can collaborate with not just other human beings or other companies, but collaborate with machines as also collaborate with machines. You leverage the automation capacity provided by machines, and at the same time, you also want a level of control of it. So you want to use ChatGPT to improve your work efficiency, but you also want to have a control over its accuracy, and ensure ChatGPT does not provide you with a malicious and inaccurate content that can jeopardize your work. That's an example, a simple example from our daily life. So the concept of agentic technology today specifically refers to those technologies that possess the capacity to intentionally constrain, complement, and substitute humans in organizational routines. And they can be categorized into 4 types of technologies. 2 dimensions. The first dimension, if you look at the y-axis, so that is here. So let's look at the x-axis first. So that is this one, this part. The first dimension of making this categorization is the locus of agency in protocol development. That says whether the machine can develop the protocols, develop the rules for the procedures by itself. The second dimension is the locus of agency in action selection. So whether the machine can also make the decision of selecting which actions it wants to do, it wants to take when processing specific tasks. So if you have the most common type of technology today is the type of technology that can determine that don't determine the protocol development. It is human beings that develop the protocol for this technology, for the machine, for the systems. And it's also human beings that make the decisions of which actions to take. This is the most commonly seen technologies today. It is what we call the assisting technology. So which means this kind of technology, they literally has limited agency. They cannot do it. It's human beings decide what protocols they need to follow, and also it's human beings decide which actions to take. So this is assisting technology. They literally just help us to improve our the efficiency of our daily work. So this is a technology. The technology itself is wielded by humans. For example, the virtual collaboration tools, PowerPoint, Excel. So you can see when you are using PowerPoint like us, I make the decisions of how to develop my slides. I make the decisions on what kind of animations to add inside. And I present it by myself. So the machine has limited agency in this process. The second type of technology is what we call augmenting technology. It is a type of technology that intentionally complements human practices. So for this kind of technology, it is a technology that develops a protocol, but the human beings will make the decision of which actions to select. So for example, the use of structured machine learning algorithm to predict the policies. So structured machine learning algorithm is, the technology itself will find out what kind of algorithm to take. It makes suggestions to human beings, and you will make the decisions of final decision of which actions to take. The third type is what we call arresting technology. So which means human beings, you develop the protocol, you develop the rules, but the machine will select specific action, make the decisions for you. So this is the type of technology that intentionally constrains human practices. For example, what Arm has talked about, the use of blockchain-based smart contract and payment processing systems. So for blockchain, it's very convenient, also very efficient if you want to encrypt something. So Arm has already explained the mechanisms of blockchain, so I'm not going to talk too much about this. But as you can see that when you are the human beings that decide how blockchain, the rules in the blockchain, in the smart contract, how are you going to encrypt everything after you finish each transaction in each ledger. But it is a technology that completes the whole processes. So which means even if you as long as this processes has started, the process of encrypting and your transaction details in a ledger, as long as this process has started, you can't even stop it, because the machine will execute it by itself for you. Even though you decide the protocol, you made the rules, but as long as the process started, you can't stop it, because it's a machine that makes the decision in what actions to do, to take. The last one is the technology has a full agency in both dimensions, both aspects. That is a technology that intentionally substitutes human practices. So for this kind of technology, it is a machine that makes decisions in protocol development as well as selecting actions. So the typical example is the use of unstructured machine learning algorithm with deep blue also long ago at AlphaZero. So the learning of AlphaGo is also based on the unstructured learning algorithm. So the machine will identify the patterns from your data, and based on the pattern and rules it has identified, it will make the next step decisions by itself. This categorization may be a little bit abstract, so I will give you a specific example. So let's say New York Times. The New York Times, everybody is familiar with this news media. Let's say New York Times want to implement digital technology to improve its current selection of cover stories for their issues. So to select appropriate cover story for each issue, the editorial team of New York Times need to consider many variables, such as topic trends, story salience, and also reputation and quality. So this is the important criteria, protocols the editorial team will devise. So let's say in the first scenario. In the first scenario, the editorial team use the assisting technology. Let's start from the most simple one, the simplest assisting technology. The editorial team decided to use an evaluation software based on these criteria. So they know these criteria. And then they will use this evaluation software to sort, analyze, and identify articles based on their topic trends, story salience, or also reputation. They will make the selections by themselves. So as you can see, this is literally just digitalization of the processes. You implement a software, but you are still the one who decide the criteria, decide the rule, and make the selection So this is assisting technology. But in the second scenario, let's say the editorial team now wants to encode its evaluation protocols, the criteria, into smart contracts. So when the deadline approaches, the smart contracts will evaluate each submitted article based on the real-time trends to trigger an automatic selection. So the articles that scores the highest on the encoded cover story index is then selected without the editorial team's direct involvement. So you just encode your criteria into the smart contract and then let the machine execute it. So this is a resting technology. So the people decide, human beings decide the protocols, but the machine will make the selection. Okay, the next one, let's say the editorial team want to push it further. So they now use a structured machine learning algorithm to analyze the available data and provide the team with suggestions on which article should be selected. So when the deadline approaches, algorithm will identify the correlational pattern between past issues and the submitted articles of upcoming issues and make suggestions. For example, certain writing styles, the machine will find out certain writing styles attract more readers. So in this process, as you can see, the machine can identify patterns and criteria that the editorial team may not know before. So as we say, topic trends, also reputation, these are well-known selection criteria. But by analyzing the data, the massive amounts of data, and how attractive each article it is, the machine may identify new criteria. So the algorithm can identify the new patterns and new criteria, but it will make suggestions to the editorial team of whether we are going to include this criteria or not. So whether this is a good criteria for us to use in making the selection. So it is still the editorial team makes the final decision. So this algorithm, this machine will only make suggestions. So this is an augmenting technology. So in the last scenario, so let's say the editorial team wants a machine to both decide on the protocols and also make the decision on the selection. So now it uses an unstructured machine learning algorithm that is directly interfaced with its evaluation software. So this technical implementation makes a big difference. So be careful here. So when you interface this unstructured machine learning algorithm directly with your evaluation software, both to select a cover story and also to decide on its layout system to produce a cover. So the whole process is now an integrated process with no human being intervention. So what will happen now is the algorithm will not only consider the known factors such as topic trendiness and also reputation and makes a selection, but it also considers those patterns and criteria it has identified from the data. Those criteria are not being suggested to the editorial team, but will just be directly implemented to the selection of the cover stories, even though this criteria may not be desirable. So it will select the cover stories just based on what it learns from the data. For example, those kind of fake stories, fake news, as we know today, fake stories and fake news are actually quite popular today. Fake stories, fake news, emotionally loaded news and stories, they usually disseminate even faster on social media than the normal true stories. So it may learn this kind of pattern and just make this kind of suggestions. We should, choose more of this emotionally loaded, extreme opinions as our cover story. So this is a fully automated processes. So this time, the whole processes is fully controlled by the technology, and the technology has a full agency in this process. So as you can see, everyone, so technology also have different natures depending on how you implement the recent digital applications, how you interface them, how you connect them, how you recombine them. So the results and the level of agency that technology can possess is different. Of course, we know the last one is the most efficient one. It will significantly reduce the workload of the editorial team, but is this the best option for New York Times? Okay, so that's all for our today's main content about digital technology. So just to summarize, the recent developments of digital technology has made it necessary for us, especially if we want to understand and also develop our career in a digital first age, we must know those developments and understand why they happen. Second, for digital businesses, different organizations, different strategies, different products and services, and even different technology natures can lead to different strategies and different decision making of organizations, so they can successfully facilitate digital transformation and digital technology in the way that can create and capture value. So that's a basic notion we need to establish in our first class. Okay, moving on to our last part. I will do this quickly so we can go for lunch. So our goals, how are we going to approach all those challenges, these topics in this module? Our goals and approach, first, simple acts. We're going to dissect successful and also unsuccessful digital business models. Case study will be an important approach, one important way for us to understand, to dissect the successful and not successful digital business models and cases. And also we will investigate the technological, economic, management, social causes that contribute to the competitiveness and challenges of specific digital businesses. So as we know today, digital business, this module is different from other modules you are taking on. So you probably have noticed that this is not a discipline, this is not international business, this is not finance, this is not human resource management. This is a phenomenon. And this is an empirical area that all those knowledge you have learned from other disciplines also they take place here. So this is a reality. This is not a theoretical or academic discipline. So you will see all those knowledge you have learned, or you need all those knowledge from other areas, other disciplines, to solve the problem of specific digital businesses. So in this module, we take an interdisciplinary perspective. So you will see theories, concept theories and frameworks, not just from management, but also from economics, and sometimes also from information systems, because we need to understand the technology, and also from some other disciplines such as innovation and sociology. And then we need to understand the interplay of the different causes and factors. Our approach, as I said, leverage a multidisciplinary perspective, and then we will combine lectures and seminars. So the lectures, we have 11 lectures, including this one, 11 lectures, and each lectures will provide you with the essential, excellent concept theories and frameworks that you can use to understand the digital business phenomena and practices. So it provides you with lectures will provide you with theoretical perspectives, and also starting from next week, also based on your assessments, we will implement some class practices to practice some elements, essential elements in your assessments relating to the theories. Seminar. We have two seminars. The first seminar will be giving guidance to your assessment 1, and second seminar to assessment 2. So the approaches also include individual combination of individual case studies and also collaborative group efforts. So your first assignment will be a group work. So you work together to solve the problem. So the expected outcome. At the end of the semester, I hope everyone is able to explain the role of strategic nature of digital technology in organizations, and also analyze and assess digital age business models. So these are the foundations. And the last one is more is a high requirement, is everyone needs to be able to critically analyze real-world digital business cases and their consequences, both theoretically and practically, on the impact of technology in businesses. So that's also a major part of assessment. So when you see a company, at the end of the semester, when you see a company, when you are working on a case by yourself, you will need to be able to do this 3 steps by yourself. At least when you see what is happening on the news, let's say TikTok has experienced a long, painful period in the US. So as we know, with the recent developments, when you see this kind of news, you need to understand what is actually happening behind. So what is the dynamic? Which theories or which frameworks or which concepts can help you better understand the phenomenon is going around you, is happening around you. So these are the topics of knowledge structure. So starting from next week, we'll discuss digital strategy. So that is the first step. Every company needs to have a strategy first, and then do everything else. And then we will give you the excellent discussion of the business model and the value drivers. And then we move on to understanding the dynamics, especially industry level dynamics of digital innovation. The following lectures plan for business model, plan for pricing, and the premium business model. These 4 lectures will be specific, have a special focus on platforms. As we know, platforms today, it has already become a dominant organizational form of our society. So if you think of all these famous companies you have heard of, like how many of them are not a platform or do not have a platform? You may not find many companies that can, I'll say, totally be separated from platforms. So our company, not just companies, our society today, as we can see, all our activities every day we are doing, everything we are doing cannot work without several particular platforms. And then we move on to entrepreneurship and organizational culture. So these two lectures will focusing on the inside of the organization, focusing on the people, the challenges posed by people inside of organization to digital transformation. And then the last lecture will be on the societal impact of the AI technology. So this is our organization. Those light blue ones will provide you with the foundational knowledge. So you will develop a foundational understanding of digital business by exploring key concepts, frameworks, and theories. So usually with this kind of concept, frameworks, and theories are more generalizable, and they will be applied in your assessment 1 and part of your assessment 2. And from week 24 to week 29, these lectures will provide more specific, more nuanced, deeper insights into the complexity of managing digital business and its impacts by exploring advanced concepts, frameworks, and theories, with a focus on their application in assignment 2. So as you can see, all 10 lectures are essential for your producing excellent work for your 2 assignments. So there are 3 important things, objects we will encounter in this lecture. The first is a case. This one I don't need to explain too much. What is a case? So as a business school students will know, a case study, or either it's an event happening to an organization, or in our module, a case refers to an organization. So it's an organization, and it also includes the outcomes, the consequences of the organization. Sometimes you may study a case that involves a successful organization, successful outcomes, sometimes failed outcomes, or sometimes it's a mix of both. Second one is concept. A concept is usually a term or phrase. So you will see it frequently in our lectures. So it's an abstract idea in the form of a term. Digital transformation, digital innovation, these are all concepts. So it's very important for you to know what is a concept and what is a theory in our lectures, so you can know what is available for you to use in your case study, in your assessment. This last one is theory. Theory is different from concept. Concept is a term, right? Digital innovation, digital transformation. But theory is a system of ideas to explain some common phenomenon. So it's not just one simple term that describe. Concepts focus on describing a phenomenon. Theory focus on explaining. So if for explaining, one term is not enough. You need a system of terms and ideas to explain why something happens and why something doesn't happen. So theory is usually a systematic idea to explain some common phenomenon. So it can be a framework. So next week we will talk about 5 forces model and value chain analysis. That is a framework, a clear structure of ideas that you can just match with what happened in your case. Models, propositions, sometimes it's in the form of proposition, sometimes it's hypothesis. Sometimes theories, and also the most common form is that theories take the form of narratives. So the authors, scholars will convey and also develop the theory in the form of narrative, detailed explanation, specification of the relationship among different factors. So that will be the narrative. So we will encounter different forms of theories in our classes. First assessment. So the first assessment is a group presentation that accounts for 30% of the overall module mark. So in this assessment, you will work in a group of 5. The team members will select, analyze, and describe the organization. So this could be an established company, a self-developed startup, a profit business, a non-profit organization, or a social enterprise. So the objective for you is to propose a digital solution tailored to the organization's current demands and goals. 10 slides, just 10 slides, or 15 slides, sorry, 10 minutes. So by selecting and applying relevant analysis frameworks and theories from week 19 to 24 lectures. So the group will present a comprehensive analysis of organization situation, identify its demands, and formulate a feasible transformative plan tailored to address its specific requirements. So this is a group effort. So the assessment briefs, so the details of both assessments will be posted on Canvas after today's class. So please read that document in detail. So all the important information, all the requirements you need to meet are included in that document. The presentation will be 50 slides for 5 people, just 15 slides, 10 minutes. So it needs to be all the essence. So it doesn't have to be too many, but the essence of your work. So overall, assessment 1 mark. We take the approach of doing. We take the approach of marking assessment 1 in this way. So the assessment 1 mark will be constituted with 3 components. We understand the difficulties, the challenges of group work, and also the opportunities and benefits of group work. So this marking scheme will include 50% of your overall group presentation. So that is the overall performance of the group presentation. And then there is 35% to your based on the individual members' sections, your individual parts. And then there is also 15% peer mark, which means you and your group mates, you will evaluate each other. So that will be 15% of assessment 1 mark. So the process of self-searching and forming a group begins on 28th of January, so that is after next week's lecture. The processes of, so how you find the group members, you can utilize the discussion forum on Canvas. So for example, you have several, you and your friends, you want to find a win student, we need like 2 or 3 members, we want to study this company, we want to be 2 or 3 other more members. If you are interested, feel free to join us. So the discussion forum is a very efficient way for you to find your group member, a total of 4 or 5. And you can also meet each other. So this week, next week, later we will also have a seminar. You can just approach your classmates and talk about your ideas or ask about your ideas and then find your group mates. So the process of finding your group members will be depend on yourself. So you talk with each other and get in touch with each other. And then we will need to know all the groups and all your group members by 7th of February. So how to communicate your group members to us, the way of communicating it will be posted on Canvas later as well. So the seminar 1 will take place on 10th and 14th of February, depending on which seminar you choose. And we will provide a specific guidance on how to approach assessment 1, give you an example. The submission deadline, 7th of March. So you have a lot of time. So actually for us, every time we have 8 months to find the people you want to work with and also find the idea and then produce the final 15 minutes presentation. The second assessment which is also the main component, it constitutes 70% of the overall mark. For this individual project, this is an individual project. So you will choose 1 case study from a selection provided. So we will provide you with 5 or 6 cases. And also each case we will provide you with a specific research question. And your task is to analyze the case, and address the provided research question. The question will be provided before week 24. So you need to use the concept theories and frameworks learned during the lecture sessions. Also details in the assessment brief document to be uploaded later. So you are also required to utilize at least one of the digital databases software from provided list, or you can identify one by yourself, or simple, very simple databases and softwares that you can use to enhance the presentation, either presentation or analysis of your case study. So the doc details will be posted later. So the word limit, word count of this assignment is 2,000 words. And the seminar 2 will specifically focus on providing guidance for this assignment. Also in our lectures, we will also integrate some class practices to help you know how to apply specific concepts, theories, and frameworks into analyzing a case. So that is the fundamental skills you will need for assessment 2. So submission deadline will be, we place the deadline of assessment 2 after the Easter break, and we understand many of you have probably multiple deadlines before Easter break. So make sure, so you spend good time in this case study, as investigation will take time. Also understand the theories and concepts. Use all the knowledge, skills you have learned during the 2.5 months and apply them in this final assessment. Make sure you spend good time on it. Okay, essential requirements, attendance. Attendance to lectures and seminars are mandatory, not just as a requirement of the school, but also essential, necessary for completing the true assignments and delivering excellent work. Also, for the lectures, because we are not allowed to record lectures, so there will be no recordings for lectures and seminars. So what we will do is we will publish the slides the day before, at latest the day before each lecture, so you can download and take notes during the lecture and seminar sessions. So reading materials, the reading materials, core reading materials and supplementary materials will be provided on Canvas as well. Extended learning, so if you are interested in some topics, so you can either search by yourself or you can talk with us. For example, if I'm interested in this particular case or particular theory, can you recommend me with some other additional learning materials to go beyond the course content? That's also feasible. Group work, make sure you also you participate in your group assignments, your group projects, and also make important contribution to your team's collaborative efforts. So last year we received predominantly positive feedback and also feedback on the experiences with the group work. And most of the group mates, they have learned a lot from each other, and the final works they presented were just excellent. If we have time, we can probably show you some of their work. But no need to copy them. Don't copy them. Make sure you don't copy them. Just produce your own idea. Leverage your originality and creativity. So this is not kidding. So this is not to scare you or to pressure you. All these 4 steps, 4 components are essential for achieving the best outcome for this module. So this is verified through past year experiences. Additional guidelines. All information related to this module will be available on Canvas through announcements. And sometimes we will also announcements pages. So these are the 2 most important sections we will post information and also useful resources. Meanwhile, the discussion facility will be used for the class to post, discuss, and receive answers to questions as well. Also for you to look for your group mates. So in line with the QPS undergrad program regulations after the pandemic, all modules will not record lectures and tutorials, seminars after returning to normal. So if you have exceptional circumstances, please feel free to talk with us. We will try to find a way to facilitate your learning, appropriate way for you to learn as everyone else. So if you are unwell, if you cannot attend the class, also please get in touch with us. So we will try to find a way to help you learn. Okay, so that's all for our today's lectures. One